Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we have a 2024 Ranger Raptor and we're installing a 40-inch light bar. First thing we're going to do is remove the push pins from the top cover. So get a flathead screwdriver, get it in the groove, lift up the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now that we got all the clips removed, we'll go ahead and take the top cover off. See what else is holding it. There it goes. Alright, next thing we want to do is loosen these two 8mm bolts. Actually, I'll take it back. We're not loosening them, we're removing them. The next thing we have to remove is this lower trim piece because it is hiding a few bolts there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a prying tool and just work my way corner until it pops out. There we go. I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to unclip the rest of it. It goes all together. Bam! Next thing we're going to do is remove these two 8mm bolts that are holding the grill from the bottom. So on the bottom there are two 8mm bolts on the side and there's also one in the middle, so I'm going to remove that one as well. So before I remove the grill, I like to put some tape on the bumper so that way it doesn't get scratched accidentally. This step is optional, but I highly recommend it. So now, since everything's loose, we can pry these clips off and remove the grill. So we're gonna get ourselves in the corner and kind of pull on it a little bit. See, and I release these clips. And we're gonna do the same thing on the passenger side. There it is. So now I see that this wire with this harness is going to go with the grill. I want to go ahead and loosen these clips so that way I can pull it off all as one unit. So there it is, one. You just kind of pry it and pull it up, pry it and pull it up. Okay, so let me summarize everything. There's two 8mm bolts on top that were removed. There's three 8mm bolts on the bottom that were removed. We disconnected the clips as well as the harnesses for the camera. And we also disconnected the clips and the harnesses for the windshield washer tube. And now we're ready to remove it. So here it is. It all comes off as a unit. This is the set of M&R brackets. You have a driver's side and a passenger. And we're going to work on the driver's side first. And notice that the orientation of the brackets, that the curve, the cutout on the bracket is to avoid the push pin that we have next to the bolt. So it's going to be installed like this. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this factory bolt. I'm going to thread the same bolt through the M&R bracket and I'm going to tighten it. Okay, so now that we have the mounts installed, let's go ahead and install the 40-inch light bar. Slide it in between the eyelids. I'm going to route the wiring around the headlight so it doesn't interfere with the grill. And let's go ahead and put the grill on just to kind of see if it's aligned properly or if we have to move it up and down. Let's take a look. Look at that, fits perfectly right underneath the Ford side. Next thing, let's do the wiring. Let's go ahead and do the wiring on the light bar. I'm going to show you how to use the auxiliary switches. Ford actually put auxiliary switches at different parts of the truck. So the first one will be the yellow wire, which is auxiliary number 6. Based on the chart, it's a 25 amp fuse and it's a yellow wire. If you look behind the auxiliary fuse box, you'll see 3 more switches, number 1, 2, and 5. The violet with the green. Number 2 is blue and orange. 5 is green and brown. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use switch number 2, for example. That's the blue and orange wire. I'll take the protective cap off and I am going to strip it. There we go. I'm going to put a crimp connector on it so that way we can connect the light bar to the positive. So that's going to be our positive. And as far as the light bar wire, your light bar comes with 2 wires. One is the red wire, which is the positive wire. That's the one we're going to connect to the auxiliary wire. And then there's also ground. If you ordered a dual function light bar, you actually do get an extra power source here for the amber DRL, and that would be the blue wire. So you would have to use 2 power sources. So for the red wire, we're going to connect it to auxiliary switches. For the ground wire, there is a black wire with a yellow stripe, which is also connected to the fuse box. That could be used as a ground. We're going to put a crimp connector on our ground. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect the red to the blue wire, and I'm going to use the ground, which is the black wire with the yellow stripe. Now that we finished the wiring, let's test out the light bar. I love it how discreet it is behind the grill, and it'll still put out plenty of light for your adventures. Thank you guys for watching. I know you're gonna love the product.